Hello, everybody. It's wonderful to be in Helsinki. This is my second home, so to say. So I'm Maria Pennanen, and I could say foremost, I'm a business angel. I am a member of FIBAN, the Finnish Business Angels Network, and also a member of the Business Angels in Frankfurt Mine Finance. Frankfurt Mine area. And so what I have done so far, I have to say I've been very fortunate enough to invest in some of the, I think, most promising fintech companies in Europe, such as the Solaris Bank and Savedo and Clark, which are all Berlin-based. What I've also done is that I have founded a Accelerator. I think we have all today heard a lot about them. So why did I do that? I worked 17 years in big corporates, some of them Finnish corporates and some American, and I have to say that I realized that change is very difficult. I was in charge of sales and marketing and strategy and many things and making businesses profitable. But to change an organization is very difficult. And if you are the one who wants to do it, sooner or later you need to either adapt or do something else. So I decided to do something else. And I went, you could say, in the beginning of the creation process. So I started with startups. I started helping them to develop their businesses, to win customers, and to scale, to find investors. And then I thought, well, I'm an engineer. So I have 3 degrees. I couldn't even satisfy myself with one. So I have a master's degree in chemical engineering from Åbo Academy here in Finland. I did an MBA in US, and the 3rd degree that I did was a leadership degree from INSEAD. And that was in organizational psychology. And then I realized that it's not only about technical skills, it's not only about understanding numbers. If you cannot get people motivated, nothing will change. And that really changed how I see the world. So I went to INSEAD and I thought, where is my blue ocean? And at that time, you can make a wild guess. How many accelerators were there in Frankfurt? Well, there were none. Well, there's one who knows the answer here. So there were none, and we were the first one. So we found that wonderful blue ocean of ours to develop this business. Because an accelerator, how we see it, is a perfect place where you can take in one place many startups and help them together to scale and to become better and bigger and find investors. And today, so I'm going to talk to you about the secret sauce for successful cooperation between banks and fintechs. And how many of you guys are from corporates? Any hands? Startups? Some people with maybe entrepreneurial mind? Yeah, some of them also, wonderful, cool. So, it's of course a little bit crazy to share your secret sauce because it's not very secret after I share it with you. But I feel quite comfortable about sharing it because I know that what we build is not something you can copy overnight. But it's something that everybody can be part of, you know, when you work together. Ah, sorry, I forgot the clicker. So, I mean, Christopher Columbus was one of the first, well, not first, but one of the biggest entrepreneurs of his own time. And I think he put it very wisely. You can never cross the ocean until you have courage to lose sight of the shore. And I think many presentations today talk about courage. And I think I would say many of the change processes that we try to do, it's all in here. It's not that we can't do it. It's just that we don't either want to do it or that we don't dare to do it. So that is also what we try to help people with, to find the courage to do it. So the agenda for today, I'm going to talk to you about passion. Isn't it a weird word to talk when you talk about fintechs? But it's all about people, and I would say that I've seen during my years in the corporate, and I'm sure many of you have, if you are not passionate about something, nothing will happen. And of course, you need to provide value to all the parties. I mean, we work with corporates, we work with startups, we need to provide value to all of these parties. And of course, it's about, competition. All right, there's a different topic than about. So competition, you need to do it together. You need competition, but you need also cooperation. So, passion, and it's all about people. It's easiest for me, of course, to talk about something that I know very well about myself. So this picture here, you can see somebody doing free diving. So all those years in corporates, I have to say, there were points when I could really find passion in what I was doing, but most of the time, not. So what did I do? I found my passion outside. I did extreme sports. I mean, I do free diving. Who in their right mind goes underwater and tries to hold their breath as long as they can, fight the urge of breathing, or go as deep as they can? Yeah, well, some of us do. And it's not only about that you're passionate about your sport. You realize that isn't it wonderful to be surrounded by other people that are as crazy about whatever you're doing as you are? And this is what I realized, that to be really, to find a drive, I need to be surrounded by this kind of people. And I found those people in startups. I mean, you all know startups. They have to be crazy. I mean, the startups, sometimes they come up with ideas and you think, okay, it's going to be very hard, but if you're willing to do it, let's do it together. One other great mind says a person who never made a mistake, never tried something new. And this is one of the things also I think that we struggle, especially in the corporate world. How can we try something new? Because we all measured about the successes we do and not about the failures that we do. It's again, I would say, it's all in the head. It's all in our minds. Well, we try to facilitate this making mistakes part. And we help it by, let's say, taking away all the unknowns that we possibly can. For example, we work with startups with already a success track record. And what do? I said in the beginning, it's all about people. We need to find the right partners to work with. I mean, in the corporates, you have different departments, you have different kind of people, and you need to find those who are willing and want change. You can't change everybody, but you need to start from somewhere. And what we do, it sounds very simple, but we actually collect a shopping list. We sit together with the banks or other big corporates and ask, so what is it that you need? And they tell us, well, we would need this and that, and can you please find us? For example, there might be a bank that says, we want to have our own robo-advisor. But we know if we start developing it ourselves, it will take years. And we heard already today from Nordea that sometimes startups can find a solution in 6 weeks. And this is what we try to help them with. So maybe there's somebody who does a great chatbot, maybe there's somebody who has a great know your customer process, and so on. And this is what we help them with. And how do we do it? We actually actively scout for startups. Me and my co-founder, who actually comes from Israel, Ram Shoham, we together see around, I would say, 500 startups a year. Some of them we meet in occasions like this, some of them we actively look for, and some of them comes to us via our networks. Other VCs who say, these startups are too early for us, but please can you have a look? So we have a great access to startups. So what do we look at when we look at the startups? Clearly there has to be a team. You can't be a single founder. You need to be at least 2 people, and one of them has to have the technical skills. And why is that? Well, if we are in fintech, there should be some of the tech part too. And it's very expensive and difficult if you need to outsource that part. And clearly, there needs to be a market. And I would say we have a little bit of benefit in that way because we already spoke with the banks. We know there is going to be a market. But it can't, of course, be a niche market. It's something that's scalable. But I would say foremost, what do we look at in the startups and the team is the passion. That they really are believing in what they do. Because we know it's a very difficult journey. Even if all the help that we can provide with our partners, whether it's in legal, digital marketing, whatever it is, they have to believe in that, what they do, because there are going to be difficult times. So that's what we do. But I would say the one thing we cannot not mention is our mentors. I mean, sometimes we ask those remarkable people, why are you working with us? And they can't even explain it themselves. But I would say it's probably because, they are themselves entrepreneurs. Or they have an entrepreneurial mind if they are from the corporate. They have themselves founded companies. They have themselves made 100 million exits. They have invested in companies. And more, I would say what most important, that they have been helped during their career, and now they want to give back. So this is our mission statement. We believe that change in business can only happen with passionate people. We attract those people, and we help others grow. I mean, this is what wakes me makes me wake up in the morning. How about you guys? First time in my life, I can tell you, I do love my job. So, what do we give, the value that we give to the corporates? So as I said, I think there's a repetition. We help corporates with their problems. It's not always that they have the shopping list ready, that they know that, okay, this is what we need. Sometimes they don't know, but they know that something needs to be done. And earlier today we heard about that there needs to be, that the difference between corporates and startups is that the startups have a purpose. I would say even the corporates needs to have a purpose. If your only purpose is to make money, I think you're going to be, dead by sooner or later. There has to be something more. And this is what we try to help the corporates to find. What is that thing that is unique between you and your competitors? And yeah, so we help these corporates, of course, to grow. Not only, I would say, in a monetary-wise, but also in people-wise, in their skills, how the organization works. As the previous guy was also saying from Nestholma, it's very important to understand that they all interlink. There is not one separate thing that you can work with. You need to work also with the people, the HR, and all these parties. So we are, you could say, the greenhouse. They can come to us to work together with the startups, and it's like the environment where we provide them with growth and passion. So I don't want to go into details in what is our real value proposition, what is it that we offer. But of course, it's clear there has to be something for the startups, there has to be something for the corporates, and there, somewhere in the middle, is where this digitalization and transformation happens. And it cannot happen with one or the other alone. We have to be on it together. But I would like to point out here one thing. It's not only about providing solutions. It is really the cultural change that's going on. And the sooner we understand it, the better. Because there's going to be this fight of talent in the corporates. I mean, you can go to Israel and you can already see it, that the young people, they prefer to start their own company. They don't want to work for a corporate. Why would I? It's 8 to 5, I have no freedom, I have these bosses who don't like. So how can you create this kind of environment where you attract the people that you want to keep? And that creates a totally different kind of need of leadership skills. It cannot be a very hierarchical organization. It has to be this kind of giving freedom, delegating, and other skills that maybe not all companies have. And we help with that too. And then comes my favorite person, you could say, in the world. He is my guiding light. Do or do not. There is no try. So, when we get our startups into a program, there is only one solution, and you have to work. And you have to work very, very hard. Because we only believe in results. I mean, we give them all the support that they need, but it's not that easy. So, competition is also a word that was mentioned here before. And this is, I would say, this is the do, what we do in practice. So we work together with banks. We are not there to kill banks or to anything of this kind. We are there to work together. Because we believe that banks have something that the startups don't have. I mean, banks have all the clients, they have the money. And many times the startups can help with the creation process. And maybe they go in different directions. They don't only have to work with banks. And I think this picture is a good example about what we do in practice. So our last demo day, middle of January, was done together with Deutsche Bank, with Commerzbank, with Deutsche Börse, which is the stock exchange in Frankfurt, and one of the biggest real estate companies in Frankfurt area, the Aurelius. So, what can the corporates do? They can actually outsource failure to us. You can say, it wasn't my fault, it's a startup that failed. Look at them, didn't do anything. And we don't mind, because we understand that you can also learn from failure. And we say, we are an accelerator. We don't mind. We accelerate both success and failure, because I see it as a real waste of resources not to do that. And it's about sharing and giving, which is maybe a bit weird words in today. We always say it's about results, it's about ROI. But without sharing and caring about each other, what will happen? The people will go somewhere else. And I would say our startups are like a little family. They are people we care about, and we want to see them succeed. And clearly, I would say that we give them the access to startups. It's not only a showcase, it's real cases that we can work together. And even the startup might even pivot during the progress. So, I told you I would share with you my secret sauce. So now I shared with you the secret sauce. Maybe not anything that you didn't expect, but this is our secret sauce, and it is successful. So the results are there to prove it. We always like to set high goals. So we set ourselves the KPIs that 70% of the startups need to get investment, and 70% of them need to get a POC or pilot. And we have actually overseeded both of these goals. Most of the accelerators, if they give any numbers, maybe half of them get invested in. I would say this also may be a good point to talk a little bit about corporate versus independent accelerators. I think we have quite a good understanding what it is. I mean, Israel has over 200 accelerators. And if you look at that market, I think there's only a handful of them that actually do make a profit. Because in the end, you need to provide enough value that you can make money for all parties involved. And also, if you look at the interviews that we do also with the entrepreneurs, I mean, an entrepreneur doesn't want to be bound to one accelerator. They want to work with everybody. They want to scale. They want to become the next unicorn. And it's not possible if you are labeled as a product of one specific corporate. So, it's all about results. I think this is a good moment to look at the last slide. I mean, there are no overnight successes. Whoever claims that is, I think, disillusionized or maybe a bit too narcissistic to admit how it really happened. I can only concur with Biz Stone, co-founder of Twitter. Timing, perseverance, and 10 years of trying will eventually make you look like a one-night success. Thank you very much. Here are my contact details. Just come and grab my hand or talk to me. I have to unfortunately leave around 3 o'clock, but I'm here. These are my contact details, and it was a pleasure to talk to you.